How's it going, everybody? My name is Percival, or Scuffed Gaming, and welcome back to Inscryption. But I'm going to be taking a quick look at Kaycee's Mod, which is a mod that was created, I believe, the original creator of the game. This is a beta, and so I'm not quite sure if what am I trying to say? Not quite sure if they're actively updating this mod, if they're doing. I mean, I do know that a couple of adjustments were made recently in order to make it a little bit more of an agreeable experience. As you can see, I've never done Kaycee's Mod before, but essentially it's supposed to turn Act 1 of the game into we have no card unlocks. But I'm excited because it promises to have a lot of unlocks. But basically, yeah, it's just Act 1, um, but a roguelike. Your packets, and there's like challenges. You know, you have to do a specific challenge if you want to unlock things. Challenge level 1 currently, no challenge points out of 10. I may not reroll my card choices for 5. 5 for pricier pelts, 5 for a smaller backpack, one less item, one less item. It was basically not play with items. I'm going to go ahead and take the reroll and the pelts costing more. And I know that that might be a little bit crazy, but let's just get stuck in this. Let's see what happens. This is going to become something that I can teach for our channel. our channel. So our starting deck is pretty ordinary. We obviously start with the 2 pelts because it is supposed to feel a little bit like a drafting mod. We can stand up, we can look around, and why wouldn't we, you know? Looks like there's still some unlockables. Is this still a thing? Do we set this to 11? Does something happen? Nothing. Nothing happens. Great. Cool. Neat. Awesome. Beehive in 3, Mantis on 4. If you set this to 2, whatever it is. What is it? 273. Yeah, I was going to guess 273. Totally. If we set this to 273, what happens? Nothing? Wow. That's good. That's nice. That's a good one. We take those, you know? As the kids say, we take those. There's mushrooms growing out of the side of this. Okay, so I guess we're not really supposed to have the knife. That would be my assumption, as this is just supposed to be a pure, not a pure drafting mod, but more or less a drafting mod, you know? So Beehive in 3, Mantis on 4. Interesting that the oil painting is still here. Let's go ahead and make our first trade. Try to set up for try to set our deck up. We got a ringworm, a cat, a rattler, a beaver. Considering the deck that we have right now, it could be worthwhile to put something like to just have a cat, just to have some sack fodder early on in the game. It's pretty standard. I do like the elk. I think the elk is pretty strong. I also do like the wolf cub. So let's play it pretty standard for now. Spells are most excellent. They sure are, friend. And instead of putting something in to be sacked, let's just start with a totem. Toe. Bifurcated, huh? We'll be seeing you later. It's a fight. A mole and an elk fawn. Like I said, I'm a big fan of just starting this deck out kind of standard. Let's see if we can, you know, win with more or less a regular deck. I won't do anything too crazy so far. 4 damage go through. Oh, not a crazy overkill, but we got 1 tooth. We already know that the pelts are going to be more expensive. Go ahead and pick up another card. Where did I place that clover? We're not going to get a reroll. That's what that was. Let's take the ringworm. We might be able to do something kind of crazy with it if we ever get a fire. We talked about this a little bit in the regular save file. I mean, unfortunately, right, we don't really have any elk cards. We didn't take any elk cards at all. So that's kind of unfortunate. But we made down the line. We made down the line. So we'll take this totem. Should we happen to come across another elk or some such. We're not going to be able to afford the pelts off the trapper. Not the end of the world. I'm going to crack into the raven egg, maybe? Well, good. Put the cat down in position 1. We don't really want the stoat to die. We want the stoat to just crack into the raven. We'll allow them to hit us for 2. Wolf, welcome to the team. Wolf Cub, welcome in. With any luck, we might get a little bit of an overkill here. Yes, we will. 5 damage goes through. We might be able to afford a wolf pelt. You definitely don't want to buy a hare pelt. We don't need the deck to get clogged by some nonsense. Yeah, see in this case, and this is what I would advise to players of this game, is in this case, just walk away with the 1 pelt. Try to see to it that you could thin out the deck if possible. I don't see a fire on this board. And our deck is fine. We got 2 dead cards in the list. It's possible we could hit the totem battle up ahead along with a pack, which we have 2 items. We could use a 3rd. We haven't been sacrificing anything yet because there's nothing really that we would be interested in making. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want to put Infinite Sack on anything. I suppose we could put Infinite Sack on the stoat, and that wouldn't necessarily be bad. But what I'm really trying to get is I'm trying to get bifurcated for canines. I just need the canine head, and they're just not giving it to us. They just don't want us to have it. Well, I don't really care for any of that, so I'm going to continue on. I'm going to force the issue if possible. The birds are here. Stoat coming in for 1. Raven egg comes through. Draw. Just run out the wolf. Yep. Four damage over the course of 2 turns. I'm in. Yep. You're dead, sir. You're dead. Now our deck may be a little bit too weak for this Act 1 encounter. Like we may struggle. There's a fire up ahead. Don't recall making that one. Yeah, we'll take the elk. Remember, our elks are bifurcated. Frozen opossum. Now a tooth. We'll take the frozen opossum. Small group of survivors were shrunken from the nest. They huddled around a campfire, looked upon your group of creatures, and beckoned. Come warm one of your creatures by the fire, one said. Now, what you can do is you could put the ringworm in. Yeah, oh, it would be risky. You never know, they might eat the ringworm, you know, guys. For some reason, they didn't let me max out my my ringworm. Now we have to get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? I thought they were going to let us kill my ringworm. I may have misclicked. Got a bifurcated elk. Now we can play this right now on turn 1 and have it start killing off these frogs. And that may be the play. Let's try it. Why not, guys? Is that a rabbit? Rabbit's just like, oh god! We're gonna let this elk do all the work. Oh, the game is so confused. The game was like, are we really not doing this? But yeah, we're really not doing this. I don't have to fight any harder. Uh-huh. Yeah, sure, let's trade. Powerful cards, I will only accept the finest pelts for them. But know this, the rest will stay and fight for me. I think what I want to do is I want to clear this side. And draw here. And we'll just dump our hand. I mean, there's no real reason not to. I don't really want to play the cat, but I suppose there's little reason not to, I suppose. So any way that we can one-shot a line, I mean, we could, if we put Wolf in position 4, it deals 3 here, none bleeds over to the last. But if we put nothing in front of this, it never does anything to us either. So I mean, I think that's easily, well, perhaps not easily, but more or less easily the play. Is just to go ahead and take this here. We could just play a bat of our own, also. Just for the sweet damage. He'll die, but you know, whatever. It's just damage. Oh. Yeah, I mean. Yeah. Yeah. I'm a little bit bummed. I don't know if they changed the mod so that you can't feed the ringworm to survivors. It feels like you should be able to still, so I don't know what that is. If we see it again, we'll try it again because it's in our best interest to do so. And there it is. Some slip or another, you cautiously tread it into the wetlands. Take a card. Don't really want a bullfrog. Don't really want a sparrow. A rat king. Now we could inscribe the sigils of the rat king onto a weaker creature so that we can get the bones earlier, so that we could play the other bone creatures earlier. Not that we have any. Yeah, see, our ringworm is still in our deck, which is real bad. It's real bad. Or we could just take a bullfrog. Let's try this again, shall we? Okay. That's really interesting. I must have misclicked then. I must have misclicked. I was not paying attention, so I'm sorry, guys. I do apologize. We get this frozen opossum out of our inventory. We could do better. There's better cards that we could play. We don't really want it. We don't really want it. Stoat's gonna get in, ship the turn, take 1. Yep. I mean, just run out the elk. bifurcated elk is a real treat. Yeah. I honestly think that we should just allow the elk to hit. And we could sack here for the cub. And then next turn we might be able to get in a little bit more cheeky damage. Maybe go for a crazy overkill. Yeah. See, that was nice. What do we got? Left post is abandoned, the strange woman, yep. Field mice. How we welcome you, field mice. We're getting lots of these 2 bloods in our deck though. It's starting to get a little bit cray up in here. But we'll take it. If we could inscribe that onto one of our good dealies, then we would be in good shape. Now, what do we want to do next? We could do what we just said and put field mice on something like a wolf cub. For sure we want to put this. For sure we want to put this. But we could put it on either our elk. Also, why does our elk not have bifurcated? Oh, because it's the totem. It's the totem. Because that way, you have to understand something, guys, because that way, every time that they kill, or when we get to play our elk, a copy of it will get created. And we could put it on anything. We could put it on wolf cub, and we could start flooding the board with wolf cubs. That might not be bad. That's a pretty good idea. It's a little bit more of a bum rush strategy than I'm accustomed to, but I'm a fan. Can we check how much teeth we have? I mean, that looks kind of like 9 to me. We'll go this way. We'll go this way. Got the elk going. I'm gonna come in with a rattler on turn 1. Let's take the 3-point hit. And then this is always right first, right? Yeah. These are the plays, guys. These are the plays. This is actually a little bit awkward because our elk is going to deal with both of these adders, and then we're going to lose 3 life to the rattler. Now we could in theory live through this if we grab our squirrel and deal 3 in first, which I think we're going to do. We would rather do that than lose the life. We'll do this. Rattler comes in, deals 3. Draw off the top, try to eddy in a little bit more damage. We would want to do it this way. Our wolf will die to the adder. But it's okay because I concede you may accept my surrender, or you may finish this match the slow way. I'll finish it the slow way, thank you. You know, we could use the teeth. Yeah, you're not getting into this so easily. The trapper was gone, a difference to memory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 14. Has an 18-tooth golden pelt. That's too rich for my blood, man. I think I'm gonna leave with just the 1 pelt. But of flooding our deck with extra cards that don't do anything. Please, sir. He came across the remains of a small settlement. No living person remained. It must have been something they ate. The fire sputtered on in spite of their absence. Now, ultimately, the question is, if we put in the wolf cub and max its HP, does that mean that all of the wolf cubs are going to have max HP? That all the copies, that a copy of this card? Because if it is, then this is looking pretty sick. Let's do it. So it looks like it's 2 taps every time. Bifurcated elk. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it would be nice if one day we got to actually see our wolf cub, which is not showing up, which is really annoying. Instead, we're living on the back of our bifurcated elk. Now, this may sound crazy, guys, but I think we're going to lose this fight, because I don't think that we can win. Yeah, we can't win. I can't wait to see our combo, eventually. The game has been doing its darndest to sort of like fight against us, in a sense. Pronghorn, sure. I mean, it already has bifurcated. And the reason I say that is because like we have been trying our absolute darndest to get like the correct sigils and the right totems, and it's just not coming up for us. Amalgam. Yeah, we could put bifurcated on our amalgam. That would be a strong card. It might be a little bit of a waste because our amalgam counts as everything. Tooth. Squirrel. Here we go for the boss battle. It's the angler. He's got all sorts of fish at his disposal. Okay, well, now we just need to draw our cat. Moment of truth. It is a 1/5. Here, you can have this squirrel friend. I hope you enjoy. 3 damages going in right now. We could just play another wolf cub. I gotta say, that does still feel pretty powerful. Like, it's probably not going to be game-endingly powerful, but it's powerful though. This wolf goes here. Take 3. Draw this dealie. Play this. Play a wolf cub and get out of this fight. Give me my rare. We'll take an amalgam. We'll take a goat, actually, also. Inside, the rares of choice are a Gek, Ouroboros, or another amalgam. Jeez. We'll take another amalgam. There's something nice about just being able to slam a 3/3 with bifurcated. I'm not used to announcing this one. Have you tinkered with the order of my maps, Kaycee? Very well. The sun rose over the sleepy firs, birds fluttered across the paths of wolves and elk. You were barking upon the woodlands. We need to get this rabbit pelt out of our deck. Still, you abided by the strange woman's rules as best you could. Huh. The Elk Fawn would have bifurcated. It's a strong turn 1 play. So 2 taps on the fire for HP. A few emaciated corpses lay within the abandoned settlement. What did you feed them? The fire looked welcoming as always. For the HP. For the HP. Thinking still the Elk Fawn. We could always pump the regular Elk all the way up to 2-8, but I mean the Elk Fawn would eventually be a 2-8, just it comes out a turn earlier. This is gonna get ugly in a hurry. Just win on turn 1. They definitely did up the ante. Do we have any doubles of anything in our deck? We have 2 amalgams. We could squeeze them into 1. We also have 2 bullfrogs that we could make into a 2-4 for 1. Which our deck is trying to get to that point where we want to get to our meat and potatoes a little bit faster. I think we'll have no choice. Cat, pronghorn, beehive. Take another cat. Try to thin out this list a little bit. One for each of us. We could take our bullfrogs, slap them together into a 2-4. Very strong turn 1 play. So we're lacking a little bit of early game defense because we can't play like our amalgam on turn 1 consistently. It's not that it's not a good play, it's just that it's not, you know, a game winning play. Oh, excuse me, I didn't want to do that. Play this. Now save ourselves the danger. That is a lot of Elk Fawn, sir. Ooh, this is really nasty. Are we gonna die? I feel like we might die. No, we're okay. Maybe we're okay. Actually, I'm gonna put this scroll in front of here. I'm a little bit worried that we would be a point off. Yeah. Two damage coming through to the amalgam. But we can potentially outpace this. Oh, that's right. The amalgam actually moves because we're smart sometimes. Whew. Sheesh. Birds, insects, or lizardos? River Snapper, we don't need you. We don't want you to gum up our deck anymore. No more, sir. No. We don't need you. I'll take a squirrel, though. In our deck, squirrel could be instant victory. We got a stump. Turn 1, the Elk Fawn, bifurcated. 1-5. Yes. Yes, sirree. It's pretty good. I think we'll play it. It's a 2-7 now. Here. Okay, okay. I don't know what we're going to feed to the fire next. It's a black goat, it's a river snapper. Man, you know, we could potentially staple 2 river snappers together for a 212. Ah, but the elk fawn is... Eek. We don't really need the triple blood sack. Alright, who's getting sacrificed? I think a cat is getting sacrificed finally. We're gonna put it on a 1-drop. A stoat. That way he could at least survive a hit. And the deck gets a little smaller. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a little bit sketchy. We only have 2 rares. The trials don't look good for us. A damage. No longer survivors will be bothering you this time. Now we could put one of our elk fawns up to 3, and then we would just be able to 1-tap our opponent early in the game. Preferably the 1/5. Or we could put damage on the wolf cub, and then we're potentially balling out of control there also, because we just have a line of extremely powerful wolf cubs, which we've come this far. Do it for the meme. We get a smoke this time. I look like we're wearing a ring. This is the prospector. Yes, sir. This time he's coming in with a wolf instead of a coyote. I mean, right? Get in the 2, move over. Death Adder's coming next. Yeah, I mean, we wait. Like, if we could win this first battle without losing a lot of our cards, then we should be able to beat the Prospector in phase 2 without sacrificing too much value. Like right now, I think we're 1 point away from closing this out. Yeah, we could just commit the Elk Fawn to the board, but this is... At the same time, we have to remember that, like, presumably these creatures are coming in, but let's just end it and see what happens. I don't want to lose the homie, actually. The homie's Infinite Sack. I've struck gold. Oh. That was close. Yeah, I'll draw a squirrel. We'll play the infinite stoat. Because he deals damage. Gets us on the board. Get him. It is a little bit sad that, like, this gold nugget is just perfectly sitting in front of this wolf, so I can't actually, like, press that anymore, if that makes sense. Like, that wolf is just going to constantly be dealing 3 to us until I put something else in the way, because all of our dudes have bifurcated. I can't actually stop that. But, like, I could also just put 2 amalgams in, and then just, like, 6 you. That's an Elder Bloodhound? Well, shoot, guys, I almost bungled that. I almost bungled that entirely. That could have been real bad. It almost was really bad. I need to pay more attention. I didn't realize it was an Elder, Elder Bloodhound. I will take a reward, please. The Mantis God, Amoeba, the Ouroboros. Ouroboros! I will take the Ouroboros. That's cool. So they made like a little dealie here. That's pretty rad. Alright, so we do not have any pelts in our list. Now we could try one more time for the totem. We could ritual one more thing. I don't know what we would do with that. We have a full maxed out pack, so that's literally useless. So literally it's just a choice of, do we go for the totems or do we go for the ritual? And I think the answer is ritual, because all of our elks have bifurcated right now, and we have like 4 of them. And we could ritual Ouroboros onto something. And it almost doesn't matter what it is. And I think that that's the play, is to put Undying on something. We just need to thin the deck a little bit more. Make it hard for our opponent to push through us. We could put it on Amalgam. We could put it on a Cat. We could put it on our one. Apparently, we could put it on our 1/5 elk, or we could put it on the 1/1 elk, even the elk fawn. Because the 1/5 elk is probably not going to die very easily. Probably. Man, but it's tempting to also put it on the cat, because sometimes we lose the cat to combat damage. And in this case, it would just get put back into our hand. Is that good? But sometimes we want it to die. It takes up space. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with my gut, and I'm just gonna put Ouroboros on the elk fawn, because it's a little feeble, and at least this way, if it dies, we could redeploy it on the following turn. Oh, so in this iteration of the game, he doesn't give us a boon. So we don't get to like double draw in this fight or anything like that. It's just going to be a straight up brawl between us and Leshy. That's a little bit terrifying. And the Amalgam coming in hot immediately. Okay then. Well, in that case, we're going to try to open just as strong as he would. Yeah, just play the whole hand. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I completely forgot that he goes into Prospector turn 1. He's gonna kill all of our heavy hitters here. But we're gonna get the round at least. Shadowy figures approach. Their eyes glimmer some kinship, as recognized they were betraying me. I remember that one fondly. Sure, sure, sure. Draw. Yeah, dude. You're still gonna... Yeah. You're not gonna... Okay. I thought he was gonna gold my team. Now that is Value Town. That's exactly what he said. You heard him say that? He said, now that is Value Town. You guys heard him say it. I'm not making this up. Now we could play this amalgam now, or we could wait a turn. The reason why we would wait a turn is because we don't want it to get hit also. 11 damage per swing for at least one more turn. If he kills the stoat, we actually don't mind. We would actually be willing to wait another turn. Are we though? Ooh. Oh my god. Oh my god, we're gonna get to do it. He's not gonna be able to stop the onslaught of these ridiculously buff elder wolves. There's too many of them. Man. For how much I was whinging about our deck not necessarily being that strong, our deck was pretty strong, guys. You know, we were able to rush down everything. And you may notice that we couldn't stinky his 13 misplays. I wonder what's categorized as a misplay in this game. I'm really curious how they're like, oh, 13 misplays. You made terrible thing. Almost 40 squirrels harmed, 20 damage our biggest attack. Very interesting. Yeah, but I thought our deck was extremely good. Actually, in the end, I was like surprised. Like, our wolf cubs are turning into a perpetual stream of 5/5s. And if ever we thought our creatures were going to die, we could just sack them all to make more 5/5s. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. This is a lore entry, it seems. I need to write this down now so I don't go to sleep and tell myself I dreamt it. I'm working late and testing the latest build. And out of nowhere, the angler starts freaking out. Like he pulled something up out of the river with this hook and gets up and walks. There is no walk animation for this character. WTF, he walked right into the cabin. I followed him in and couldn't find him. Leshy had some new dialogue lines that I cannot find in the dialogue file. He said something about some old data and how the angler served him well or something. I'm so tired that I'm already wondering if I made this up. At the end of the owner's turn, Wild Bull will move in the direction described on the sigil. Creatures are thrown back behind it. An egg is created. So we got some new cards. These are new cards that are going to appear in the main game, the base game now. Boss battles are also totem battles, plus 15 challenge points. So it looks like the boss battles now will be sporting some kind of effect on in their fight. 13 whole misplays. Mantis Gods picked. That counts? This is cool. All right, well, that's Kaycee's mod, ladies and gentlemen. I will come back with this mod in the very near future, probably, because that was a lot of fun. And we didn't really break the game. We played just a really solid, robust list that was comprised of some extremely powerful elks, some extremely powerful wolf cubs. And sometimes all you need to do is just run over the last boss with wolf cubs and elks and amalgams. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Cheers, everybody.